Good afternoon, guys. It's Josh here from the Health and Wealth Group. So I pulled a little survey out to ask you want to know more about the superannuation or index fund investing, and you voted for super. So here it is, guys. So I'm going to do a little video series on super. What is it? So I'm going to start focusing on super for the younger generations, because I think they're the ones who need just a little bit more insight on how super is going to work for them. So look, guys, as you know, your employer has to contribute 9.5% of your salary towards super. And that's called a concessional contribution. So basically, you will be accumulating 9.5% of your salary every year, which is great. So hopefully over the next 30 years of working, you'll build up a little sizable pool of money that you can retire with. But here comes the crux of the matter. You need to know more about your super fund than just that. You need to know how much fees you're paying each year, how much your insurance is going to cover you if you have any problems, and what the premiums are attached to that. And you can also choose how your super fund invests your money. So guys, let's have a look at, first of all, let's look at fees. Really important. Because fees, remember, that's what the fund managers, their income is. So the more fees they charge, the more they're going to earn. So unfortunately, it's not a fair game. Now you need to be aware of how much fees you're paying in comparison to what your total super savings account is. Now, of course, the more you have in your super fund, the more fees you're going to pay. But overall, you need to be aware that you shouldn't be paying, more than, say, $400 to $500 if you've got $50,000 in your super. Now, go and do your research. There's some really good comparison sites out there, but less fees. You've got to be aware. You say, oh, it's only a couple $100 this year. Well, they've taken that out of your returns. So that means instead of you generating $1,500 that you can earn interest on next year, well, that means you're only going to take home $1,300. So then that's less amount of money that's going to compound over time. So it might be a couple $100 this year, which will mean could be $300 next year, and then from there it could be $500. And then $800, and then $1,200. So over 5 years, it could be a few $1,000s. But over 30 years, that could turn into $100,000. So fees are very important to be aware of. So make sure you know how to log into your super account, get your membership number, get in there and have a look at your annual account summary that they send you. And then compare what your super fund total is against other super funds and what they would charge fees wise for the same amount of money. Also check out how much your premiums are for the cover they offer you. So fees, there's indirect and direct. Now, unfortunately, the way they tell you about these, they're super shady. And the government's ASIC's trying to regulate this so they're more open and transparent about the fees they're charging you. But it still hasn't happened yet, so you've really got to delve into your account summary and look at what your direct and indirect fees are. Now, it's quite hard to work out, but have a look, do your homework. Now, secondly, we're going to have a look at what they invest in. So for most people who are under 40, even under 45, they'll be looking at an accumulation phase. So you would be in the accumulation. All good and well. So that means you're taking on a higher risk looking for a high return, because over the next 20 to 30 years, with the fluctuations in the market, you can ride those out and you'll still get good returns over time. But to reduce your fees, one simple way is to see if your super fund actually has a balanced index fund. So that means you're not relying on the fund manager to buy and sell stocks that they think are going to perform well. You just tell them you want to put that into a low-cost balanced index fund, and you'll get the same amount of returns that the market generates year in, year out, and reducing your fees that you pay the fund manager that ends up in his pocket and not yours. So two really things that you need to be aware of: the fees you're paying, how they're actually investing your money in your super fund, and then third, how you can optimize your super fund. Now, basically, you do that because it's a tax-friendly environment. Now guys, you can do salary sacrificing, I'm sure you've heard of it. So basically that means the employer will take money out before he pays you, which means it's a pre-tax contribution. So it's money you're getting that the government's not taking all of your personal tax rate out of. It's only taxed at 15% when it goes into the super fund. Now the other benefit to that is you can, let's say you're earning whichever tax bracket, you're around the 95,000 or you're around the 40,000. Now if you can contribute 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you're in the higher one, $10,000 of salary sacrificing, you can drop down into the lower tax bracket, which means you'll be paying less personal tax on your salary. So there's two benefits to salary sacrificing. So that's just something you need to be aware of. But it is a tax-friendly environment. Have a look into how it can benefit you. But put it this way, I want to also point out for younger people who have a mortgage, you've got to weigh up the only sacrifice you're going to make when you salary sacrifice or put it into your super. You cannot access that money until your preservation age. So that could be 20 or 30 years away. So if you want to have that, tax benefits now, the trade-off is you can't touch it. So if you want to reduce your mortgage first, that's also a really good way to use your surplus income. So you've just got to weigh that up. Pay your mortgage off quicker, build your retirement savings up. So there's three really crucial things to think about if you're in the younger generation of how to optimize your super. So guys, I hope this helps. I hope it's giving you something to think about. Go and look at your super account summary, start learning about super, and don't be ignorant to it. It's a huge factor when you want to retire, whether you're going to be living off the pension or whether you're going to have a nice income stream and keep the standard of life you're used to living. Thanks guys, bye now.